I am Des Clark and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks for opinionated panellists to put it back together again. And joining me this week is comedian Ashley Storey, and with her is stand-up Alistair Barry. And facing off against them is comedian Stuart Mitchell, and joining him is stand-up Amy Matthews. And what a week it's been in Holyrood, as the First Minister finally gave her evidence to the inquiry. Questioning took over 8 hours, which is a parliamentary record, but still below the average length of a family Zoom call. Scottish Conservative leader and football referee Douglas Ross has called for a vote of no confidence in Nicola Sturgeon. Apparently, though, it's not about her answers to the inquiry, but for something he spotted earlier on VAR. There was also a motion for a vote of no confidence in Deputy First Minister John Swinney for not releasing material the inquiry had asked for. Mr Swinney apologised and said the hold-up had been caused by his work being reassessed by the SQA. And the Holyrood inquiry has, of course, been closely followed by the British press. And while we're yet to learn the outcome of the hearing, it's probably safe to assume it was all Meghan Markle's fault. And you'll be pleased to know we'll be putting out a special Margaret Mitchell mix of this week's podcast, for those of you who just want to hear the one joke repeated over and over for half an hour. Right, you've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one. This is the broken news round, where our teams have to guess 2 major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Ashley and Alistair, can you tell me your first story, please?
The President of the European Commission
has changed Scotland beyond recognition from 12 months ago.
Ursula von der Leyen
Was the first person
to move within the European Union or abroad for work or tourism.
It's hard to believe it was a year ago, Lisa.
Ashley, any ideas?
It has sadly been a whole year. I can't believe it. I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth hole. A whole year since the first case of COVID-19 was reported in Scotland.
Yes, it is the news that this week marked 1 year, can you believe it, 1 year since the first reported case of COVID-19 in Scotland. The Scottish Government announced the first case of COVID-19 on March the 1st, 2020, in a Tayside resident who had travelled from Italy.
I particularly like the fact you've managed to just squeeze in the blame on the Italians there as well. That's very nicely Eurosceptic of you to just get in the little... It was an Italian, actually, thank you very much.
Definitely not us. Couldn't have been our fault, not at all. That's the vaccine that I've had called AstraZenophobe.
That's far more popular south of the border, I think you'll find, Des. But,
no. Well, look, on this, 1 year in, Ashley, let's talk about it. Has it felt like a year since this all started?
It's a great time to fully understand the whole physics principle that time is relative, because time is now relative to Tiger King. I feel like I was 10 when I saw Tiger King. I can't believe that was only 12 months ago.
I stopped thinking about it in terms of months because they just all melded into one, and there's just sort of 5 key phases in my head. You've got phase 1, panic. Just phase 2, Tiger King, obviously. Phase 3, takeaway pints and a bit of hope. And then phase 4, it just seemed to be dark for 25 hours a day. And then phase 5, we sort of got 2 bonus lockdowns. You know, that's the only concept I have of time passing. And it sounds more like the missing verse of We Didn't Start the Fire than it does a calendar.
It has felt a bit like Groundhog Day. Stuart, what have you made of it? Does it feel like a year?
It feels like dog years to me. I mean, it's mad, isn't it? Which is ironic, because I'm only getting out for a walk once a day and I'm eating a lot more biscuits.
Alistair, what about this year? Obviously, looking back on it, what's been the biggest lesson for you over the last 12 months?
I didn't realise until about 5 minutes ago that the biggest lesson for me was that I really, really should have watched Tiger King, because I completely missed... We've all learnt all kinds of things. I learnt what furloughed meant. I thought furloughed was what people from Birmingham did to you on Twitter. But being furloughed does mean, of course, that you're not allowed to do what you did previously. And what I did previously was be a comedian and be funny for money. I'm still technically furloughed. So if none of this is funny, could I just say that that is intentional and a legal requirement?
What about you, Ashley, in terms of the last 12 months? What's been the biggest lesson for you?
I've watched all of the murder documentaries, which essentially means I've done a 4-year training course at Quantico Des, and I know how to catch a serial killer. I know the signs to look for. What you're looking for is somebody with a controlling mother who makes fun of them publicly. And so what I've learned is that if I was less fat and more motivated, I'd probably be a serial killer. That's what I've taken away from.
What about you, Amy? Obviously, tough 12 months for everyone. What's the biggest lesson that you've learned?
That the frame ratio of my laptop camera is not the same as the frame ratio on Zoom. Because honestly, if I've ever got a Zoom call, I always check just before, right? I have to check on my laptop camera that all the mess is out of shot. And then as soon as Zoom starts, suddenly the camera reaches twice as far and the bottle of wine on my bedside table squeaked into shot. And I've got to act like that's just a candle holder and not rock bottom, you know.
Stuart, what about you? What lessons or lesson have you learned over the past 12 months?
Well, I started off at the Treasury and then became a stand-up comedian, so I wish I'd done it the other way round.
Well done. 1 year of COVID in Scotland is the correct answer. Ashley and Alistair, you get 2 points for that. Stuart, any thoughts as to what our second story might be?
So this is around the possibility of vaccine passports so that we can all go on holiday again.
It's the right answer. It is the news that the UK will discuss the EU's proposals for a vaccine passport, which could allow people to travel more freely in time for the summer holidays. EU leaders agreed last week to work on vaccine certificates, with southern European countries, including Spain and Greece, pushing to unlock tourism this summer. A lot of people say it's infringing civil liberties, but obviously it could open things up. Do you think that vaccine passports are a good idea?
Well, I mean, I agree with a vaccine certificate because at least we can all come out with this with a qualification. I love the proof, though, how they're going to prove it that people have been vaccinated. I mean, are you just going to have a row of Scottish people at Alicante Airport and the immigration officer, that the BCG is just punching everybody in the arm, and if you yelp, you're in?
Ashley, what about you? Vaccine passports, good idea or not?
First thing, Des, I'd like to be the one to say that I really enjoyed that you said Sybil Liberty instead of Civil Liberty, which is actually my drag name. So that was my favourite.
Sybil Liberty!
I don't know. It's a good idea, Des. If my dog needs a passport for vaccinations to go abroad, I don't see why I shouldn't have one as well.
Speaking as an Englishman, the important thing that we're obviously concerned about down here is what colour is this passport going to be? Nothing else. That's all we care about. What colour? Is it going to be blue? I mean, you know, but we've just spent 5 years trying to stop people from travelling freely. Why on earth would we want a passport that allows them to do that?
Yeah, currently non-essential travel is banned in the UK unless essential for work, medical appointments, or holding together an increasingly fragile union. So as it stands, we shouldn't be going around the UK from different areas. However, should we use these passports for reasons other than travel, maybe to get entrance into venues? What do you think about that, Amy?
Yeah, I think my priority would be something that allows entry to a buffet. Because, you know, buffets are the ultimate COVID red flag, aren't they? And I've really missed them. I love those world buffets you get. You know, the ones where you could put a lasagna next to a tikka masala and no one bats an eyelid. Right, yeah, I just really want to go back to one of these. So if there was something that could mean I could go back to one of those ones where there's, like, world cuisine on offer, all at tepid temperatures for a tenner, I mean, that would be grand.
What about you in this one, Stuart? So there's the ideas that we could and should use the vaccine passports for reasons beyond travel. What do you think?
Well, it should be local, shouldn't it? So it's a bit like if you decide people to take your shoes off to come into your house. You either do it or you don't, because if you don't, you're not getting in. Do you know? I don't care. Don't really care if you've got a warrant.
I think that a great idea, Amy, for your World Buffet, right? Imagine World Buffet with Zorbs. So you're not only getting your food, you're also battling through a pool of other people in giant plastic balls to get your plate back to the table. Protected and fun.
My slight worry on it is that it becomes, you know, the people that can't get the vaccine passport start hanging about outside travel agents the way that under-18s hang about outside off licences. Mate, if you're going in there, going to get us a weekend to Magaluf, please.
Get an octogenarian to go in for them.
And at the end of that round, the teams are on 2 points apiece.
Woo!
Now, so much of our news is about public opinion, and this week we spoke to BBC Scotland weather presenter Judith Ralston and comedian and farmer Jim Smith. So, Stuart and Amy, what story do you think Judith is on about here?
I'm quite surprised that this has happened. Standards have probably slipped. However, that's not stopped me slapping it on. I even slap it on for a Zoom call. Heated rollers and a little bit of fake tan does the trick.
Is it makeup brands have sort of started to close, or they're really suffering because of the pandemic? No one's going out and wearing it.
Yeah, it is the right answer. Well done. That is the news, that we are apparently buying less makeup, and major makeup brand Becca is the first to close down due to the global impact of COVID-19.
I sometimes just do my makeup to pass the time. It's like something to do, you know. And sort of what Judith was saying, Zoom calls and any kind of video conference stuff, I think just makes you look 10 times worse. So if anything, you need to double up the makeup. You know, if I go barefaced on a call, I look like Corpse Bride or June Brown. You know, it's just, I need it to look alive.
Like Amy, I'm so surprised because I have done nothing but do weird stuff with makeup since lockdown has happened. The Trump style of foundation has been my go-to. I swear, I'm not kidding. This isn't satire. This is like proper Zoom helpful hacks for ladies. See if you paint your whole face darker, a darker shade than it is, right? And then just put light concealer around your eyelids. You look great. Trump was onto something. Trump was nailing it.
Speaking as a man, I don't know if any of you guys have done this. It's been facial hair for me. I'm presently sporting what was aiming to be a rather magnificent Asterix moustache. And one of the great things about the face mask has been that you can do whatever you want with your facial hair. If you don't like it, you can just cover it up straight away. But unfortunately, the problem I've discovered is almost everything I try doesn't... I mean, I wanted it to be an Asterix moustache. It now looks like I'm desperately in search of a leather bar somewhere. And
Is there a time when you've really gone to town with your look?
Well, when I was about 14, I shaved the side of my head because I wanted to look like Ellie Goulding. But in reality, I looked like a sort of spaniel who'd just been to the vets, you know. So I remember thinking, oh, this is really cool. Everyone must be thinking the same. And I feel like actually they were looking at me being like, you know, has Amy had some kind of procedure?
What about you, Stuart? Is there a time where you've really gone to town with your look?
Well, I think I made a major investment. I got a hair transplant a few years ago. I don't know if you knew that. And I don't know where they took the hair from because I'm always scratching my head.
And finally on you in this one, Ashley, what about this idea? Have you ever gone to town with your look?
When I was 12, I really wanted friends, Des, and I thought that the goths and moshers who hung about outside the Gallery of Modern Art in Glasgow would be a good shout, because, you know, they're misfits. So my mum took me to this shop called Hellfire, and she bought me the biggest pair of baggy jeans. You know those big, giant, like, mosher jeans that are essentially like a robe? They're that long, they're that big. It's like a wedding dress made of denim, essentially. The biggest hoodie, a dog collar. I googled Papa Roach lyrics. I was ready. I was off. I was prepared. I headed into town. I was stood at the curb. I kid you not, a car drove up beside me and the wheel rolled over the bottom of my jeans.
Oh, no!
And I didn't notice. And they parked and got out, and I was just stood there for 2 hours trying to get my jean out from underneath the car wheel. And I made friends with an elderly parking attendant called Archie. So, you know, friends were made.
Right to you, Ashley and Alistair. What do you think Farmer Jim is talking about here?
I don't think it's the future of sport. However, if Scotland suddenly became really good at it, I'm sure the whole nation would get behind the team. I don't think we should be encouraging our kids. I think they should be outside playing sports. An 8-year-old Jim with £28,000 would have went and bought a brand new tractor, left school and went farming on my own, because that's all I ever wanted to do.
as we all sort of moan about the fact that none of us have earned much money for the last year, it's heartening to hear that an 8-year-old child has been awarded a professional contract for playing with his computer. I've been playing with my computer for a year. No one's offered me a brass farthing.
It's the right answer, and it is the news. The 8-year-old Joseph Dean has been signed up to become the youngest ever paid Fortnite player, despite technically being too young to play the game, according to the world's major age certification qualification bodies. Joseph has signed with Team 33, getting a £23,000 signing on bonus and a high-speed computer. Now, if you don't know, Fortnite is incredibly competitive, although I would argue not as competitive as my current favourite online game, which is staying up till midnight trying to book a Tesco home delivery slot. I deserve a bonus for that. Ashley, do you think this is it? Gaming is the future of sport?
I think if golf and dog dancing can be considered sports, then I don't see why competitive gaming cannot also be considered a sport. Let me just drop some stats on you. Ninja, aka Fraser Blevins, had 616,000 concurrent viewers on his Twitch stream watching him play Fortnite. That's bigger numbers than some sport events, and concurrent means people who are actually live right there at that time watching it. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had 439,000 people watching her play Among Us. It's one of the biggest new platforms. It's the future. I think it's great. I think if you're good at it, go for it.
Could I just check one thing, Ashley? Did you compare golf and dog dancing?
Yep. Pretty much the same thing. Grown men doing something weird and boring.
I would say golf is a sport because you do actually sort of do something physical and there's about a 4-hour walk involved. Dog dancing, I am not so sure about, but if someone wants to pay me £23,000 to play with my dog, I am more than happy to.
Whilst I agree with you in part, Alistair, nobody's ever won Britain's Got Talent playing golf. That's all
That is true.
Amy, what do you think about this? There's an 8-year-old making a lot of money gaming. Do you think gaming is the future of sport?
I really hope so, because that'll be one that I can do. You know, like if someone actually told me at the start of a PE lesson that, we won't be running laps today, instead we'll be shooting lasers at a purple dragon or something, I might have faked being sick a bit less, you know. It's more fitting to the world we live in as well, don't you think? You know, it's far more likely that you're going to be sat down looking at a screen in your life than running laps on tarmac whilst being shouted at by a person who hates their job. You know, one of those things I've done a lot more.
The one similarity between gaming and PE is you can do both in your pants if you forget the right kit.
But let me ask you this, Alistair. Take yourself back to being 8 years old and being given 23 grand. What would you have done with that money?
What I'd probably do is donate it to the Conservative Party, secure in the knowledge that I would secure a £6 million PPE contract.
Stuart, what about you, mate? Just take yourself back. You're 8 years old. You find yourself 23 grand richer. What would you do with that money?
Oh, I'd buy myself a new Game Gear. Do you remember them? Game Gears.
Wow.
Because I remember I dropped it and my dad was raging that I dropped it, and you had to plug it into the charger, to the mains, in order to play it. Always had to plug it in, which, I mean, it caused a bit of a scare when we visited my gran at Glasgow Royal. But
who knew you could make tens of thousands of pounds just by sitting around just randomly pressing keys? Although technically that is what Linda McCartney did in Wings. Nice topical reference. Well done for getting it right. It's the world's youngest paid Fortnite player. That's the right answer. And 2 points go to Ashley and Alistair. You're tuned to a socially distant Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who's in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So, Ashley and Alistair, you're first this time. Who is this?
We will work together to rebuild our party so that we have the opportunity to rebuild Scotland. I'm sorry we haven't been good enough, and I will work day and night to change that.
I think that is the millionaire Anas Sarwar, who's become the leader of the Socialist Labour Party.
You've identified the right answer. Well done. Yes, it is Anas Sarwar, who has been announced as the new Scottish Labour leader. The appointment comes ahead of the Holyrood elections due to take place in May. This week, Mr Sarwar said, of course, I would love for us to win the election, but I'm also a realist about where we are right now.
Actually, he's a millionaire, is he? Because I was reading about him, and he used to be a dentist. I didn't know that. I mean, he's obviously a very successful dentist, which is handy, as obviously getting Scotland to vote Labour will be like pulling teeth. But I didn't realise that was. I mean, if there is a job less thankful in British politics than being leader of the Labour Party, it's got to be being leader of the Scottish Labour Party, isn't it?
Is this a good appointment, Ashley, for Scottish Labour?
Well, Anis was actually at school with me. He was a much older, much older, cooler boy. And I really wanted to be in his gang, really wanted to hang about with him, didn't want me in it. Now I'm getting his face posted through my letterbox asking me to like him and choose him, and how the tables have turned. And I'm feeling quite good about myself now.
Do you think this could be a good appointment, maybe to turn things around?
Having the first Muslim leader of a party is definitely a positive, because we're pretty slow on the uptake across the board.
It's going to be a long road back. I think I looked. The SNP have had 3 leaders since 2000, and Labour have had 14. Scottish Labour have had 14 leaders. It's going to be a tough one. I think Nicola Sturgeon will have to go. And then I think the SNP will have to go, and then maybe he's got a chance.
Being realistic about his prospects, Anas Sarwar says second place is his aim. Do you think that's ambitious enough? Do you think it's realistic?
Well, I love that you can't fail if your aim is not to win. Like, I really respect that, and I can relate that. You know, I was so bad at sports day when I was at school that I used to skip instead of run the 100 metres, like a sort of whimsical child, because I knew that I'd lose, so I wanted to do it with some flair, which is pretty much what this guy's doing.
So, obviously, we're talking about running for office. Holyrood elections coming very closely. If you were running for office, what would your slogan be?
Mine would be "Get Mitchell in, man."
Oh, lovely. Lovely one.
Lovely.
Get Mitchell in, man. And in case you want a punt in this one, the revised odds for Labour to win the Scottish election in May are 33-1, which means, if you're not familiar with gambling, if you put a tenner on them to win, you will have a tenner less than you started with. Now you know. Yeah, 2 points go to Ashley and Alistair. That was Anas Sarwar. OK, Stuart and Amy, it's your turn now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
I sometimes move bowls and plates from the bottom to the top of the pile so they don't feel left out. So, for example, if the 4 have gone in the dishwasher and there's, say, 2 left, I like those 2 guys to be first up next time, which I do understand attributes some kind of personality to an inanimate object.
That sounds like Dermot O'Leary slowly losing his mind.
Dermot O'Leary was told his family history was not interesting enough for Who Do You Think You Are. Despite Dermot claiming to have had it in good authority that his ancestors, a police officer and a judge, were allegedly killed by the mafia in the 1930s, the BBC genealogy series failed to find any evidence of this, and producers decided that ultimately Dermot's family history was just a bit too boring for the show. Now, having been told that his family history is too boring for TV, the most exciting thing a man with the name Dermot O'Leary can now look forward to is trying to check in for his holiday at Pontins. What do you think this says about Dermot then, Stuart? Too boring for Who Do You Think You Are?
Well, I love this, that he has it in authority, that his ancestors included a policeman and a judge. I mean, who were the other members? Punch, Judy and a string of sausages.
He's not boring, he's normal. Who Do You Think You Are is a means of selling big genealogy to the masses. You spend hundreds of pounds thinking, oh, I'm going to find out I'm related to the Queen. And then you go back and you go back and you go back and you realise every single generation of your family were just poor, starving labourers who lived in squalor, had 14 children and then died at 49 of general decline. I'm doing my family tree just now, Des.
OK, I want to ask this question. What's the most exciting thing you can tell us about your family history?
My great-great-grandfather was tartan maker to Queen Victoria and was found drowned in the Clyde after spending the night with a lady of ill repute, which I am... My great-aunt, who lived to 105, was horrified that I'd ever been told that, but I am enormously proud of the fact, and every time I go past the Clyde, I just give it a little nod and say, all right, great-granddad.
To be fair, Ashley, you've done a bit of digging. What's the best or most interesting thing you found out about your family history?
I've managed to find loads of documentation, birth certificates, death certificates, and a lot of my family were born out of wedlock. They were born without their dads being registered, and I did find my great-great-granny. She had a baby out of wedlock, and then I found an addendum to his birth certificate where she took the tram conductor who got her pregnant to court and made him declare that he was the da of her baby and brought much shame upon everybody. And I thought, good on you, Margaret.
Stuart, what do you think? What's the most exciting thing, Stuart, Stuart, you can tell us about your family history.
So, my great-great-granddad on my mum's side, he invented the first mechanical fishing rod.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, I'm winding you up.
Yep. The thing is, we all took the bait. We definitely did. Amy, I'll finish up with you in this one. What's the most exciting thing you can tell us about your family history?
My uncle used to manage Alison Moyet back in the day, which really doesn't hold up. You know, you guys have all got the other thing.
Wow. Do you know
Just
what?
the fact that you called Alison Moyet history has alienated 90% of the audience of this show.
Dermot O'Leary is the right answer. Well done. 2 points go to Ashley and Alistair. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. So I'll read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
Vaccine, 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 vaccine.
Oh, there she is, the legend Dolly Parton there, giving out vaccines 9 to 5. Well done, Dolly. Right, team, here we go. 8 people wanted for what?
World's most manageable conga line?
Yeah, let's start small and let's build as time goes on. I like it. 8 people wanted for what?
To play legs in the new theatrical production of War Spider. Theatres are reopening. You heard it here first.
Wow. Is it by Andrew Lloyd Webber?
Oh, God.
Hello.
Wow.
It's been a year, but I still got it. 8 people wanted for what?
Is it Dermot O'Leary's family tree?
Any 8 with something interesting to say. 8 people wanted for what?
Is it a mission to the moon?
Is the right answer. Well done, Ashley. I can give you the specifics on it. 8 people are wanted by a Japanese billionaire who's looking for 8 folk to take to the moon on a 6-day mission.
Vaccine, 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 vaccine.
Oh, there she is. That's the klaxon. Dolly has pardoned. It means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Ashley Storey and Alistair Barry. And commiserations to Stuart Mitchell and Amy Matthews. Woo! And we'll leave you with the breaking news. Breaking news just in. Scientists have developed a pregnancy test for cheese that lets cheesemakers check the quality earlier and more precisely. 1 blue line means the test is working. 2 blue lines means it's Stilton. Fawlty Towers is to be repeated in the BBC for the first time in 8 years, with the racist and rude language edited out. The Beeb are expecting huge viewer numbers, not for the legendary comedy, but because of how desperate we all are to see the inside of a hotel. And Scotland is to have its own mobile COVID vaccination unit called the Jabberknot. Inspired by the fleet of Scottish gritters, rejected names for the unit included Injector-ness, Jabby McJabface and Mary Queen of Shots. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye.